Hi everyone, welcome to the blog. Yesterday I had a very interesting conversation with my nephew about being rich and being poor. And I actually surprised why a 7-year-old boy is already talking about being rich, buying Gucci, where is Switzerland, and well, this is a little bit interesting. He shares me about that some of his classmates are not talking or playing with him because he was not rich. And I was thinking, oh my god, this is worrying. At the same time, it caught me off guard. I realized kids nowadays has tablets and phone, and all they see are this heavily marketed product showing off how rich they are and how poor some other people are. Back when I was a kid, being a poor or rich wasn't such a big deal. Rich kids didn't even know they were rich, and poor kids didn't dwell on being poor. Life just was what it was. But today's generation, it's all about showing off what you have. Vanity on full display. And we can't blame that. Everyone's are posting in Facebook, Instagram. And that's just the world where we live right now. Luckily, I always view things differently and live my life in my own world. I never felt intimidated by rich people, nor do I go out my way to befriend them just for status. Some of my friends are very wealthy, while others are average, struggling like me. As you can see, our money's value keeps shrinking, and life feels harder every day. Still, I want to share my thoughts and advice to my nephew and niece. Yes, there are rich and poor people, but sometimes we need to stop overthinking other people's status. Stop benchmarking our situation against theirs and clear our mind so we can see things clearly and differently. And the harsh reality in the Philippines isn't poor, it's just rigged. A handful of families control the wealth, while minimum wage workers earn only 500 pesos in Davao City, probably 700 or 800 in Manila, and in my city you can earn 430 pesos. This is a minimum wage. Imagine one politician dinner costs more than your maybe a month's salary or 2 months salary. That's not inequality, that's exploitation. Now, the president used to promise to bring down the rice prices, but it never happened. I don't know where they import our rice from, but they can't seem to lower the cost. And they could import from Cambodia, where rice is much cheaper. However, I'm not the government, and I don't know their proposal or their structure or their process. How do they import the rice? And also, the world market is in chaos. So you can see, we experiencing the rising cost of electricity, the highest in Asia. Salaries in the Philippines is stagnant since 2010. Thanks for Mr. Rodrigo Duterte, the former president, who passed a law that everyone should get a 13-month pay, compulsory, whether you work in a private or in the government. You will get that. That's a very huge help to every family. Sadly, the middle class jobs are disappearing if you notice. The government has failed to attract investors in our country. This is the most painful reality. Men here have fewer career choices. Some end up as a jeepney driver, grab driver, or a street vendor. No safety net, just survival mode. And these men have families to take care of. It's funny though, we spend many years in college, so we study so hard, got degrees, only to land a call center job. I'm not trying to be a racist or anything because I worked in a call center job as well. And working in a call center job, we get paid like 15,000, 20,000, or maybe some other probably get more, 30,000. They're lucky if they get 30,000 in my city. Or we have another choice or options. We can leave our family to work abroad. So underemployment in the Philippines isn't a choice. It's what's left, what's the systems fails for us. We have the highest tax in the whole Asia, 12% for VAT. So we get taxes get deducted. Yet if you can see our hospital, it's lots of funds. The public schools are overcrowded. Corruption isn't just stealing money, it's stealing everyone's future. The future of your family, your kids, the future of my nephew, my niece, everyone's future, my future. Here in the Philippines, I'm not sure if you're able to live this kind of borrowing some money. So sometimes I borrow today, repay tomorrow until I'll be able to pay. So they say like utang is bad, but utang is a culture that we develop Filipinos for being responsible, and it's the only lifeline when our wages can't cover the rice and the rent. And we spend a lot of time watching Facebook and social medias, seeing these people living their life like a Johannes. So why aren't you living like in Seoul or in Singapore? But their system actually works. One big difference, if you bring drug in Singapore, they will hang you to death. If you bring drugs into the Philippines, it's a different story. Our system designed to keep us chasing scraps. But what I want my nephew and niece to understand is I don't want them to feel stress or questions their worth just because society labeled them poor. Yes, life is hard, but I always refuse to let them lose self-esteem or being crushed by a system that forced them to think in a certain way. Our minds and heart hold power, and we can use it and weaponize it for our own good. Do all Filipinos experience poverty? No. The elite live in a bubble, but the most resilient isn't virtue. It's survival where the system fails. The real question is, how long will we accept this? In my own experience, of course, I experienced poverty. Absolutely. I grew up studying by candlelight because we couldn't afford electricity. Even though my grandfather had a big house, I never felt poor. I just didn't have money. Funny things, when I was broke, I never felt poor. No money? Sure. But poor? Hell no. And that's why my sister is always so annoyed with me. She thinks I'm very irresponsible. But actually, it's just a mindset. Poverty isn't just about a cash, it's a mindset. Society says if you're hungry, you're poor. But what if you're just temporarily broke? I eat rice for a month, but I know I was worth more than my wallet. The difference? I refuse to believe the lie. They want you to say, I'm poor, so you stay quiet. And I don't want that my nephew and my niece to feel that way. Well, here's the thing. News flash. Being broke is a situation. Being poor, that's surrender. And my energy, too stubborn to give up. I always redefine my wealth even if I have no wealth. And it is so funny in my own opinion. Western media says mansion, sports car, but what if rich means freedom, eating with family, laughing over cheap beers, owning nothing to debt collector? That's real wealth. They just don't want you to realize it. Filipino are too resilient. That's how they exploit us. Oh, they'll survive on rice and prayer. But what if we demanded more? Not just for survival, thriving. Start by rejecting their label. And this is what I want to plant in my niece and my nephew's head. So next time someone pities them, oh, you're so poor, say, I'm not poor. I'm underpaid. I'm not broke. I'm underfunded. Words shape reality. I want my nephew and my niece to change the reality and change the game. So today I told my nephew, the poor? Oh, do you know what the poor people does? They go to a hotel like this, enjoy the swimming, enjoy the buffet, and enjoy the playroom. That's what the poor kids do. And the rich? Well, the rich people stuck on their private jet, working 24 hours a day. His reaction was priceless. But this is why I'm guiding my nephew toward real affluence. Not just for money, but for freedom.